Yo, what's up guys? We're back with another video. This will be an updated guide on my strong early game build. I'll go over all the things that I have updated slash changed. I've optimized some of my gear a little bit more, some of my skills, go over my masteries, my avatar, and my runes and different things to look out for. Some runes that you might have to synth for the build, and some things that you might have to upgrade from like blue to rare or whatever it may be. But with that, I will get into first off the gear. So for my gear, the things that you want to look out for are for the bow, you want to prioritize the Mirror's Tree Shrine, because if you're not crit build, you want to go for the speed bow. And the Mirrors is the easier, probably better one for early game. This one you want to prioritize speed, attack percent, and probably HP absorb, just for the survivability. HP absorb is huge. Attack percent and speed are like 1-2. If you could also get like flat attack damage on it, that would also be super nice. Flat attack damage with those two other ones. The other stuff, it's not as important. You can see I have dot amp and intelligence. You know, resistances might be better if you need those. But for the helmet, this one is mostly you want to prioritize like health and resistances. So if you can get like flat or HP percent with some resistances. For the shoulders, projectile damage, and then try to roll a physical percent damage, T10, like that's number one. So get hopefully some kind of HP, and then T10 HP or physical percent, and hopefully at least one resistance. You can see I have one here. For the chest piece, it's still going to be the Boreal's Earth. So you want to get this one because you need the +3 attacks damage skill rune level. And this is going to be for all your attack skills. Like Piercing Arrow and Rain of Arrows. So make sure you get this if you're running maps, or hopefully on the auction house. They're going pretty cheap, so they're not too bad. Just try to get that +3 attack damage skill rune. You can see I have 3 resistances on this. It would be nice if I had some like HP percent or flat HP too, but I did have a little bit of HP percent on it already. So as long as you're prioritizing the attack damage skill rune level, that's number one. So just make sure you get that, and then if you can't, you know, hit resistances or other stuff, don't be too worried about it. This is number one. You can work on it later. This one for my gloves, I have damage against elites, just because I'm clearing trash, pretty easily. So more damage against elites and bosses is always good with attack speed. It'd be nice if I had some kind of resistances on here, but my resistances are pretty good on this character, so I didn't prioritize them too much. For the boots, movement speed always number one, just so you can move around faster with some resistances. I got chaos, poison, fire, but movement speed is number one. That's the one you want to look out for. For the quiver, you want to prioritize attack speed and physical percent. So attack speed and physical percent, you can see I got T10 on both of those. Sucks I hit a T10 lightning. Would have been nice if I had flat attack on this one, but hey, it is what it is. Can't always get lucky. But also make sure that you're also giving quality to items that you're going to be using for a while. You can see I have this one at 15%. My helmet's at 14. This one a little whoopsied on. I didn't quality it, but I only use this character. This is my alt character, so I don't play on him all the time, just to do descent raids and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're going to be using gear for a while, make sure you're getting at least 10% quality on all your items. And then for the necklace, physical percent still with another physical percent roll. Ideally you would get a T10 physical percent, and then anything else is kind of whatever. Just make sure you're getting the T10 physical percent on top of your physical damage. For belt, it's going to be another HP situation, so more elements and HP percent. If you're having mana issues, you could go for also mana potion cooldown recovery. That's the one I use on my main. That's a big help. So if you're running into mana problems, that's a big one to look out for. So just HP percent, and then more resistances. This one can roll all resist, so keep that in mind too. It's nice to get element resist on everything. For rings, you're going to be using flat damage. Flat damage, and then the #1 priority is physical percent again. If you can roll physical percent and attack speed, that's also pretty cool. But as long as you're getting the physical percent with the flat physical, you're going to be sitting nice. It's going to be giving you some good damage. But also resistances, as usual. I'll show you guys. As you can see, my resistances are way more than maxed out. So as long as you got max resistances, you can kind of add other things in as you need them. So that's the gear. For the charms that I'm using on this guy, make sure that also if you beat Act 11, when you beat Act 11, you get a free Tier 3 Chaos Star. And then to craft this, you need one of each Tier 3 charm for Hamal. So for this build, you're going to be focusing on Hamal. For this big blessing right here, 140% blessing gives you 30% physical damage amplification, which again is multiplicative damage. So that's huge damage. And to do that, you just need to get one of each Tier 3 charm. It has to be rare, so you have to upgrade it to rare if you don't have any. So just one of each. Craft this at the charm table, and then after that, like, it doesn't matter the stats either. Also, don't worry about the stats on any of those charms because it's just giving you the blessing. The Tier 3 Chaos Star, you don't get any of the stats, so just any one of the Tier 3 charms, one of each. Doesn't matter what the stats are on it, just craft this Chaos Star. It'll give you 63% Hamal blessing. And then for the rest of them, you just want to kind of use whatever you can to get this up to 140%. So even if some of them, you know, maybe don't have the best stats on them, if it's a high tier and it's giving you a bunch of blessing, it's worth it for this physical damage amplification. But I do have I focus two-handed damage and physical percent, and those are the big ones. Physical percent, two-handed damage. Those are the ones to look out for. This one I got HP, but it was a high tier 6, so send it. And if you have like a bunch of tier 6s and you can make this happen with like 4 charms, then you can put 2 other charms together, like a higher tier, like a resistance one. I know some of these give like plus 40 resistance if you have just the 20% blessing. So if you can make that happen too, that's cool. That's a bonus. And then for the avatar, I use Boreal. I'll show you the skills I have. I got him up to level 35. That's optimal because you get the extra damage amplification from it. But I use for my first passive the damage for the damage amplification, and then when you get it to 35, you get another 10% damage amplification. So that's the skill I have, the passive. For active skills, I use Earth Shock, and then enhanced damage for the 50% damage amplification, and then also 50% skill rune cooldown recovery, just so he's attacking more. And that's pretty much the basic setup for the avatar. If you wanna, I don't have a second avatar leveled up on this guy, but you could go for a number of things. Spica, I think I'm going to be going for on my main because of the passive effect. You don't get the skill, but you do get the passive effect from the second avatar. I'm going to be going for the physical damage here, but I won't get it until level 35, so that's kind of a bummer. But for now, you know, you could get the extra armor. You know, it's gonna help out better than having nothing. If you're having mana issues, I think Vesper gives you mana. Yeah, mana potion, cooldown recovery, and more mana extra on level 30 and then level 35. So you could go for whatever. I'm going to be going for Spica on my second one just for the damage, the extra flat damage, but it's not super important. You could go for basically whatever. But Boreal's #1. Make sure you take Boreal. This is going to be a huge setup. Damage, add damage amplification, and then skill Earth Shock, 50% damage amplification, and then the skill rune cooldown recovery. So that's it for the avatar. For the skills on this build, this is where I updated some things from my last build. I still have a pretty basic setup because, like I said, this is my alt and I didn't want to use too many resources on it. But this is still pretty much exactly what you would want to have. Granted, you don't have all the synthesis runes Most of these are pretty easy. This is a synthesis rune, I think, but it's pretty easy when you're going through maps. You get rewards, and so this one you'll have to synth for. And if you don't have this yet, projectile acceleration. But piercing arrow is the main, of course. I only have it blue, but I'm sure you guys will want to upgrade. Like this is only white. You want to upgrade most of these to at least blue or yellow. I have quick attack, persistence, and then attack damage increase. I think attack damage increase is better than additional physical damage, because this is damage on attack, and that just gives you more. The physical damage increase just gives you more flat physical damage, which this scales better off of physical percent, because it already has high flat. So that's something to note. I'm still using marksman. I have increased duration linked into it, and then this is a big one right here. So I have my spell activation on hit to lightning chain. Make sure that your lightning chain is at least blue, because you want to use this for the damage amplification against shocked enemies. So when you shock enemies, it gives them, or it makes them take multiplicative damage against them. They get a debuff and they take 20% damage amplification. If you have it blue, it's only 10. Yellow is 20%. But also another thing to note about lightning chain, very important. Very important. I've had so many people come in like, yo, my mana sucks. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, well, is your lightning chain level 1? And they're like, no, I leveled it up. Like, don't do that. Do not level this up. It's not worth it. It's not to do damage. This is to make the enemies take more damage. Do not level up your lightning chain. Do not. But I have it yellow for the extra 20 or the extra 10%. So white, it has no damage amplification. So you want to make it at least blue. Get it to yellow for the 20% damage amp. Do not level it up because it will cost way more mana than it would normally, and it's not for damage. It's to make the enemies get a debuff on them to make them take more damage. But on this, I have spell damage increase just for funsies, status effect enhancement for the status effect to last longer. I have Elite Slayer also connected to it just for funsies because it's connected to my Rain of Arrows, so why not? But on Rain of Arrows, I've also got the attack damage increase. I think Elite Slayer is a big one for Rain of Arrows, because mostly you're going to be using this for like big packs, elites, bosses. So this helps out with just all your damage. This pretty much, your regular piercing arrow just clears trash very easily. So Rain of Arrows is just a help when you're fighting, elites and bosses. I have additional physical damage, area of effect. You can kind of play around with these a little bit more too, and just figure out what damage you want. Also keep in mind, I only have this 5 linked, and this is only 5 linked, so you could add, something else onto here. Maybe like strike or something like that. But I do have use count on here, so I can use this twice. And I have Seal of Condensed Destruction. That's going to be important to have on. This is also a synth rune, so you'll have to craft blue skill runes. You'll have to buy 3 white ones or get them from like the chest in the guild place. There's like a chest in there that you can use your guild tokens, and sometimes you'll get blue skill unstable ones. But yeah, this is a synthesis rune, or if you have like a chest that you can open to get a blue skill, this is the one that you would want to take. For roll, I have disarm for the cooldown and use count for the extra use. And then for my Zodiacs, I'll go over these with you. This is something I made some changes on also, so you want to pay attention to, follow this guide pretty much exactly. I have it down to pretty much a science. This would be like the best setup that you would want to have. Gives you a bunch of damage. So for the first one, I took all the top row because I already have a ton of attack speed, because the bows that we're using are 4 attack speed, so we just have a crap ton of attack speed. And then the damage on attack is just way better. So I took the first 6 in here. Keep it just like this. Do not take the rest of these, because then you won't have enough points for the rest of the trees. So I took the top, and then I took 1 attack speed. Tier 2, I took the whole top row for more damage, and then that 1 middle node. For tier 3, I took 3 here in Unos for the mana potion cooldown recovery. Mana problems do become a thing when you're attacking super fast, but mostly it's only on bosses. When you're clearing trash, it's usually not that big of a deal, but this just helps out. For rock, I took the whole top row. If you're lacking resistances, you could go this middle row just for the extra resist, but I'm trying to get more HP into my build, and this one has the HP node, so I took the whole top. And then for 4, I took the attack speed again, damage and attack, area of effect. Area of effect because it makes your lightning chain go out farther. And then damage on attack again. Projectile damage you could take, but I wouldn't because it scales better. Your build scales better off of physical percent. Projectile doesn't do a whole lot, so it's, I don't know, I wouldn't take it. For 5 here, all the way at the top, this one also you could take the top row if you need the resistances. You could take the top row here. But I went for the dodge rate. You could also take armor depending on what you need. I just took the dodge rate. Dodging things is nice. We're 6, so I took just the middle row here, just to kind of save some points for later down the road. The armor pen is pretty useless. Monsters only have like 3-digit armor, so when you're armor penning, they're 3-digit armor. It's not that big of a deal. So just more attack speed. And then I also took this in this tree, 3% HP, 3% HP, and then physical damage dampening. Just for more survivability, because once you start getting up in those statue levels, things start to hurt. So the more HP you have, the more you can survive, and then the more damage you can do in turn. And then for 7, I took the middle-ish row here, all the way for more decreased damage from elites, more damage against elites, and then down here you can't really see it because of my camera, but 40% damage for a miss. You could also, if you don't really need the survivability or if you don't care about the miss thing, you could take the top row, and this will increase the range of your lightning chain again, so you're shocking enemies from farther away, and it gives them the debuff without you having to get too much closer. I do like this tree, but I just couldn't fit it in. I went for more survivability. Still does great damage. I'm still having the damage on miss, and you'd be surprised how much you actually do miss, so you're getting that buff quite often. And then for 8, I took the HP amplification right here. HP regen is disabled, but HP regen kind of sucks. You're only getting a little bit at a time. It's just not worth it. I'd rather have the HP amplification. So I took this from Farmer. Gives you a bunch of health. And then in Plague, in the same tree here, you go up and all the way over. All the way to the over. I know you can't see that last node because of my cam, I'm sorry. But it's 15% damage when two-handed weapon is equipped, 2% movement speed. Yep, this is just pretty basic here. And then also, sorry, I kind of skipped over these, but you'll unlock these as you go. For the specializations, the first tree, I want to go all the way down to the strike damage here. My camera's covering it, sorry. But 6% strike damage amplification. If you have barrier, you could take these top 2 nodes after you take this. Or if you just want another use on your roll, you could take this too. I have use count, and I have pretty good cooldown on my roll, so I took the 15% damage and the movement skill cooldown on top of the strike damage amp. And then in the second tree, this one right here, you go straight down over to the right, crit hit disabled, so you will not be critting, and then 20% strike damage amplification, so that's pretty huge. And then after that you go all the way over to the left, more strike damage amplification. And then at the top here for the last specialization, you come all the way over to the right for this damage amp right here, and then all the way over on the left for cut. Cut's pretty awesome. You get a bunch of attack speed here, and then cut it gives you an increased chance to apply bleed on enemies. It slows them down a little bit so they're not running at you quite as fast, so that's nice. And then for the very last node that you'll have left over, I started going into the Typhoon, which is the new tree, and I'm going to be going down. So you want to go down over to this way, and then right here at the very end you get another 4% chance to deal double damage. So you get 2% here, and then you get another 4% there, which is very nice. Double damage, Pog, we're in there. And then I think that's it. I think that's all the trees here. Covered all the stuff here. Okay. And then for my masteries, last but not least, masteries. I'll show you which I took. In the masteries, I did take accessory. This is what I prioritized first because more HP, more survivability, and then you also get damage. So these two together are way better than I think, you know, the weapon coming here and just taking all damage. You're just going to be squishy. Same with this. You don't really need these as much. So I took 3 in the HP one, and then I took all 5 in damage. And then after that, they start costing double points. So then after that, I just started going into the main attack. So this is what I would do for now. Just go 3, 5, and then, you know, just kind of put stuff wherever after that. And yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff that I've updated and changed on this build. I hope it helps you guys out a lot. I've been still having a lot of fun with this build. I made a 3rd character that I just went through the campaign on. And I have all 3 of my characters running the same thing just so I can kind of pass them gear as I need it for different activities and stuff like that. But let me know if this helped you out. I know it took me a while to get this guide out. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll try to be more on it. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you need help with bosses or any questions on the build, I stream every day on Twitch. And you can come find me at twitch.tv/xepicdeathx. And just come by, say hi. It's a good time. And I hope you guys enjoy the build. Until next time. See you guys.